Alright, so here we go into the replay analysis, game 1 that Winter has sent me. Let's take a look at what we got. Opening kickoff. Okay, right off the bat, we can't have y'all splitting off like this. So here we have Sad Rainbow. Oh, let me get this. We have Sad Rainbow going this way and Winter going this way, and that leaves all of this area completely open with both of y'all here in the corners as soon as the kickoff gets made. So if anything falls in this area, luckily, Burnt and Arden did the exact same thing, which means nobody's here able to follow it up. But you do want to have somebody coming in here for any kind of stall right in here, and make sure you have one person back. So I'm gonna actually go back to the beginning and take a look at kickoff start. Okay, so when you're in this position, obviously Suma's gonna go for the ball here. What I typically like is to have the outside man here, being Winter, is gonna want to cheat up here, going this way, leaving Sad Rainbow, the guy in the middle, to either go back, reverse back here and wait to see the kickoff, or if you're really quick, what he can do instead is go around this way to the same side as Suma here, and come back around this way to defend the goal. If Sad Rainbow chooses to do this, it's very important for Suma to push the ball out this way. That way we continue our rotations, because when Suma hits the ball this way, Winter's going to be cheating up that way, and this is where you want the hit. You need to make sure that it goes out to the left, which gives Rainbow enough time to come around from the back and be able to make a backside hit. Also, after Suma touches it, you rotate out around this way, and if you look, we have Winter coming out to the left. We'll have Suma getting the hit and coming back out to the right, and we'll have Sad Rainbow coming around this way, and we're right back into our triangle. So we have one here, we have Suma up here, we have Rainbow coming across this way, and we've got that triangle shape that we're always trying to do. So instead we get the split, and nobody's able to cheat up, and the ball is just conceded to them. Also, there's nobody anywhere close who's able to challenge this. So you pretty much just give up possession right off the bat. Good adaptation here. Winter went to net, and Suma came around, leaving Rainbow up here on the corner. And we're right back in our triangle. We have a goalie, we have a man coming around the backside, so this is good. Right here, let's take a look at what happened here. Okay, so Rainbow hits it to the middle, Winter hits it across. You definitely want to be careful right here, Winter. Notice that you have your man coming back here. You never want to hit it across the field if you can at all avoid it, crossing your own net. What you can do here, which would be probably best, would be to tap it right back to Rainbow. You see that you have this entire lane coming right here. You have Sumu moving up. So Winter, what I would do is I would tap this right here, and then I would book it out wide to have his assist going out this way, and let Rainbow take the ball down the side. That way we get one here, one person out, and one back. What you notice instead is when you tap it this way, both you and Rainbow book it down the same side, which leaves you in an overload, and nobody's on the far side able to assist on any passes. So let's take a look at that again. We have Winter and Rainbow who come back out this way. Okay, now let's take a look at this right here. So here we start to get our triangle. Rainbow takes the left, Suma has his back. Winter, you can't back out here. So let's actually go back just a little bit and see how this happened. So you both come in towards the ball on the double commit, and Rainbow takes it and goes across. At this point, Winter, you are free to stay right here. Sad Rainbow's going to chase it across, and Suma's going to have his back coming across. You don't need to back out just yet because you still have your safety net here in Suma. So make sure that you're not running away too quickly, because Sad Rainbow could possibly get a, a bounce back over here, any kind of weird touch around the corner. Anything that can launch it back over to this side would be you, and you don't have to retreat until you see that Suma's coming in to make a play on the ball. Okay. Here again, we're very overloaded. You can notice that all three people are on the same half of the field, and that's something you really don't ever want to have happen. If they were able to get any kind of um, boom hit back out across this way, the only person who's left here is Winter. Both Suma and Rainbow can be beat with one touch, which is why you want to have one here and one person wide out here. So just be careful when you're transitioning back and forth. Make sure that you have one left and one right, and that you aren't overloaded on one side. Still very overloaded, still has nobody up. As soon as you see Suma backing out of there, Winter, that lets you know that you are free to move up. You have the safety net, so you should be booking it out here to play the assist for Rainbow if he's able to get a cross pass. If he can get a large arc up high here, bounce it off here, get a lob, anything like this is a very open shot for you coming across if you're in position out wide. Instead, we get this line. You notice you never want to be in a line. You always want to be in a triangle. The reason for that being, so if you're in a triangle, one person can challenge, and one person goes across, and one person comes back, and you're always an equal distance away from each other. So as you keep spinning, there's never a gap, because everybody rotates together. If you ever get in a line, like this, he can rotate here, he can rotate here, but he has to rotate twice as far in order to get back, and that leaves this big gap. So as soon as you get the two challenges, the last man, being in this case Sad Rainbow, wouldn't have enough time to get all the way back and cover Suma's back because you're all lined up. Whereas if one of you gets out wide here, they can come back a lot faster and be able to play that defense for you. Okay. Here is probably one of the most common mistakes as far as rotations goes that I see. Actually, let me back this up and take a look at that real quick. Okay, so Winter comes in, and here we're back in our triangle. So Sad Rainbow's gone across, and he's coming out. Winter's challenging. Suma has his back ready to come in if necessary. Um, so Winter gets the touch back to Suma, who taps it up. And Sad Rainbow knows that as soon as he sees Suma attacking, now Sad Rainbow has to come to the back. Suma is coming up to the right. That means Winter, you actually need to book it out to the left. Now this is very counterintuitive. It seems like you shouldn't want to go across the field here where it's coming, but you do know that you have a safety net here in Sad Rainbow. So you're free to slow down a little bit, play this area right here. This is also a perfect time to go for either a demo or a boost steal. So if you see that you get this touch right here and you're backing out, you've passed it to him. If you can get a bump or a block on the goalie while you have your next man coming in, you're free to do so because you know you have your safety net here. Suma has his back. You can take out this guy to give Suma an open net shot, or to kind of tap it anywhere in this area and let Sad Rainbow come up. All kinds of options as long as we space out. If you come back this way, then Suma has no pass because Rainbow is also having to come this way, and you get two people going backwards towards the ball, and Suma has no assist to continue the offensive play. So make sure you're not giving up pressure by having two people commit back to the same spot, and just keep that triangle. Oh, oh. Okay. Suma, you shouldn't ever want to come back on the ball side. So if you notice the ball's on the right side, if you're trying to go back, you need to book it to the other side of the field and go around. If you notice, Sad Rainbow should be coming up this way. Winter, I don't know where you would have, if you had gone wide, you should be coming back this way. I think you've gone a little bit further. I think you're down here in the goalpost or in the net. Am I right on that? Yeah, okay. There's Winter down all the way back here. Um, but Suma should be going wide. Sad Rainbow should have this touch, and Winter should be coming in right here to keep a triangle. We've kind of gotten a little too far away. It is good that you're in defense, but you got there a little too quickly. It was actually Sad Rainbow's job, and Suma, the reason you don't want to come back this way, one is Winter doesn't have anyone here to have his back now. So if Winter has to come out, there's nobody coming in to replace him. The other reason you don't want to do that is Winter can't challenge this very well with you coming in the same way, because now he has to worry about both you and Ardent. If either one of you are going to get a touch, how you're going to get a touch, if it's going to be a pinch, if it's going to go off the wall. It just makes this a much more difficult touch for your friend coming in from the goal, and it also makes it to where he's at a much riskier play having to come out for this because he doesn't have a safety net. So you're making it more difficult of a play, and you're also making it to where he has to make the play, otherwise it's a goal. So make sure you get out and away from the ball and not come into it, because that can cause lots of problems for your team coming with the correct angle for the clear. Alright, starting to go good. That was a good adaptation. Steam was here. Winter again. You're booking it out too early. So Rainbow's the backman. He was coming in to assist. Sumo is here. You should be out here. As soon as now you see that Rainbow's attacking, now is your time to come back. But you don't move back until you see Rainbow coming in. As long as Suma has control of the ball, you are his offense on the far side. As soon as he's given up, like he does now Rainbow's coming in, that's when you back out. So make sure you're not backing out too early, and definitely don't back out all the way this far. So the same way that I said you don't want to have too much space, if you look that the ball's all the way up in their corner, if you go all the way back for this corner boost, that is so much space. So if there is any kind of bump in here that leaves the ball anywhere in this general area, which is like half the field, if they get it right here, you're at a spot where you have to play across, and they have all the time in the world to just dribble through here. And with you not being able to play shadow defense, so you're coming from the backside, which is what you want, as long as you don't have this much room. They can slow play, they can fake, they can do a lot of things to mess up this angled shot while you're having to chase back, as opposed to if you had just kind of been there, you probably would have been able to make a better challenge in that area, and slow things down. So just make sure you're not creating too much space to where you can't be ready for the next touch. Alright, we're back in that line again. You notice we're all three on the same side. We need to make sure that we're keeping that triangle. You don't want to have one left, one right, one back. Just got to be really careful about this overload, because that's going to completely ruin your offensive drive. Another double commit. Again, if we hadn't been overloaded on the right side, it would have been very clear as to who was going for this ball over here on the left, and we probably wouldn't have gotten that double commit. And again, we have two people here and we have nobody over here. So both Winter and Sumo are trying to cross it. Sad Rainbow can take a shot if they get a pass, but since they're both here, nobody has his back. So normally you'd say one of them, say Suma was over here, Winter could either pass it all the way across to Suma and Rainbow could have his back, or Winter could tap it down to Rainbow for a shot and Suma would instantly see that and move back. However, since they're both right here, they're either going to force Rainbow into an all-in shot where he either makes it or you get scored on, or you just give up possession. So again, just make sure that we're keeping our space and not double committing on the same side. Okay, and then here again would be the same issue. You're rotating back on the ball side. You never want to run directly away from the ball on the side. So if you have to run back, you want to do it on the far side. If you're on this side, you need to be coming up and across. Um, so again, I know that it got weird because there were two of you all up here. But somebody needs to be coming in this way so that we can keep our rotation and everything just flows smoothly. Again, this is kind of what happens when everything kind of gets out of whack. People aren't exactly sure where we need to go and start making adjustments, and things just kind of get chaotic, I guess. This is a good adjustment here, so now we're back in our triangle. Okay, so Suma's coming up, Winter's got his back, Side Rainbow's going out to the side. So good positioning here. Okay, now let's take a look at this play. So here we have Suma comes in and we have our triangle. Suma gets the hit, and it's a slow touch here, and Winter's a little bit far back here to be able to make this next one. Not too bad. Suma goes for this ball, so there's two things that can happen here. One, either Suma stays on the ball. Oh, actually, let me back up a little bit. Okay, so your options are either Suma stays on this ball and Winter books it out here for Rainbow to come back in the back. The other option is Suma, you concede this ball and let Winter take it, and then you still have Sad Rainbow coming in the back. Whatever y'all decide to do, y'all need to make this, y'all need to talk to each other on how this one works out. I usually prefer not to have this happen right here. Um, First of all, being because you're just hitting it into the wall. All you can really do is either pinch it around the side into the middle where you have no help, or you can bang it off the wall to the middle again where you have no help. The better option I would see in this situation would be to let Winter come in and challenge this against Long, and Suma, this is your snipe. This is the perfect situation where you get a hit, you realize your next man can come up, and you can go ahead and start moving across. So you know that you have Sad Rainbow coming across, you know that you have Winter coming in, and you're free to book it across the field here. So you can do a few things. You can steal this boost, you can go for the bump on Burnt, and you can rotate all the way back around to steal this corner boost. Um, Taking these boosts are very important at the right time because if you keep rotating and getting the triangle, people are going to keep rotating through there, stealing those boosts. Blue team won't have the time to focus on trying to grab the boost like you will because there's too much pressure on them. And if you can just get around rotation, maybe 5-6 touches, they should all be out of boost before they're able to get possession a lot of the time. Um, so again, just make sure we're not getting overloaded like this, but somebody has to be moving out over this way. Winter, I would say it would be your job to make this call, whether or not you have it or whether or not you're going across because you have the better angle. Sumo can't see behind him to know how far away you are, if you're going to be able to beat long, certain things like that. So in my experience, I find it better to just have the back man call out whether he wants to take the shot or whether he's leaving it for Suma. The other thing here is Winter, you started to book it out across here, and Sad Rainbow came to fill the spot. You can't book it back. You've already established that Suma has the ball and you were booking it across, so you need to go all the way across. If it comes to the point where Sad Rainbow needs to come in, that's when you book it out and around, but you cannot do this number because that again puts us in this line, puts all three people in the same little quadrant on their side, which means if they get any kind of clear over the back of Sad Rainbow, anything over to the side, over to the back, y'all are just done. Offense over, best case scenario, it's just a clear and y'all are able to play defense. Worst case scenario, open net. Let's make sure that we keep that spacing, get out to both left and the right side of the field on offense. And actually, let's look at that. So here comes across right here, Winter. If you had been, like, I know that the ball went in anyways, but if you hadn't done this number, if you would actually just continued out on your path going this way, that is the easiest redirect. Whether or not they mistouch that off the post or anything, there's, you 100% had an easy dunk right here if you had stayed wide. So they knock it in, and you're able to get the goal, which is great, but it could have been a lot easier and a much higher percentage shot. So you might not get so lucky on that in the next in the future. Again, we have the same split that I talked about earlier. Their team's doing it too. But again, nobody's coming to help on the two sides. You have both people on the two corners, so you have nobody in. Look at all of this space that's completely empty with just the two, where all the other four people are in the four corners of the map, and there's just no help. Um, Whereas if one person had cheated up on this, look at how far away Burnt is. If somebody had been sitting in this general area, that is 100% your ball. to be able to sneak up and steal that on either side, no matter where the ball goes, and you still have a back man to play safety. So you don't need to have two back men. You definitely don't need to both go for boost right away. Just make sure we're moving into that rotation as quick as possible and bridging this gap. Because look at how much space there is. There's no way that either one of y'all is going to be able to come up anywhere close to this, except for the fact that they've done it too. So since you've both created that much space, now you're going to have to just charge at it. And it's very chaotic, very chancy as to who's going to get this touch. And then again, both people are moving up. We don't have a clear man back. It's very ambiguous as to how these rotations are working. And now you'll see we have two people in the same spot coming back on the backside while nobody's coming in this way. The problem with that is you'll both have to challenge this way, which means if Arden gets this bump, he can tap it back behind you to Long coming this way, who can shoot it from the back end, and that's just such a hard save. Because Suma and you are going to have to be respecting Arden's shot here, and you have to show this, but if he taps it back the opposite way behind you, that's a quick UE that you have to be able to do to be able to get that shot. And it's just, you're making it harder on yourself when you need to. Y'all are getting grouped up here again. Let's see, what is that? So Suma gave up and, okay, so Suma backed out and went to the back. In that case, Sad Rainbow needs to book it up probably a little bit faster to be Winter's back. Suma, if you move back like this, you can't book it up with them. You have to know that you're behind the ball, that you've conceded, that you are not the front man. Rainbow is closer to the front than you are, so you need to slowly rotate back and let Rainbow go up and you play the back man. Just watch this positioning here, because if we get two people that close together, a lob over the top can be an easy goal. Good job, Rainbows, going across the field or wide to the backside goalpost, which is exactly what you want to do. So you see Suma's challenging here, Winter's able to come up here, and Rainbow's going all the way around to where he can come back at the goal from the backside goalpost, which is very, very important. You don't want to come to the front post or anything here, because anything that comes across, you have to be able to clear it back to the side you came. So good job on that rotation, Rainbow. Suma, you see that Rainbow's in front of you and you just got that touch. You can't be following him here. We got a triple commit up on their side. So here we get Winter gets the clear. Oh no, I'm sorry. Rainbow gets the clear with Suma. Winter's already up ahead of a play. Winter, I would call this if you're ahead of a play and able to get this, so that they know not to follow it. Rainbow is the one in front. Suma, you have to stay back here. And it's hard to tell, I know, because you're on ball cam. You're looking straight up. You can't see where any of the other people are. But you did just see that Sad Rainbow got the touch in front of you. And if Winter calls that out, you should know that he doesn't have your back, or if you saw it out ahead of time. Communication is just really important on these kinds of things. So make sure that we're not overcommitting and sending everybody up onto offense. But good shot by Rainbow, it worked out. But had he not made that shot, let's take a look at this right here. If that doesn't go in right here, look at where everybody is. So Suma's here and Rainbow and Winter. There's not a single person further back than their fourth of the field. So if this goes poorly, if Long gets any kind of touch, that's the easiest boom out for Arden, Burnt, anybody on this fast break to be able to come back here and get this shot. So again, good job making that shot, but be careful with everybody else's positioning. Make sure that he has a safety net in case that doesn't go exactly according to plan. Okay, so again, we have that same split that we were talking about. What I prefer to see here is Suma goes up, Winter cheats, and then you just grab this boost and go right back here and wait. Again, the other option would be the last man can go grab a boost and come back, but you have to be very quick about it, and you have to be very mechanically proficient to be able to stop a direct shot. Assuming that Suma doesn't get the best touch here and it just booms straight down. You are responsible for the net here, Rainbow. So I prefer to just grab this one little dot and move back. You end up with 45 boost, which is more than plenty for the first play. Your job is just to make sure that they don't get a quick goal, and then you can move out to either left or right, grab your boost as you're moving up, and you'll be just fine. Um, I really don't like, especially I don't like both people grabbing boosts. One person is a little bit risky. They definitely do it at the higher levels because they have the mechanics to back it up. Um, but even at my level at Champ 2, I don't feel like I'm good enough mechanically to be able to do that, and I prefer to play it safe. Um, that's up to y'all on how you kind of want to figure out how you're going to do that. But my recommendation would be to just grab this one little boost right here and move back to net until you see the hit, and then you can make your decision. Okay, let's take a look at this again. So we have Suma go up, and we're starting to get in our triangle. So we're really spaced out again because of that kickoff that I said, how it puts everybody as far away from each other as possible. If you look at how much space we have between everybody, between Winter and Suma and Rainbow, like that's a big, big gap. We don't really want to have that much of a gap, but it can be fixed. So here we see that Suma is going across, which is correct. Winter, you are now the book up, and Rainbow is coming in to be the back. Sumo don't run away so fast. Um, the ball's still on their side. You have Rainbow here on your back if you need it. Trust the fact that Rainbow can at least slow it down. So if a person in the back, here's something that may help with feeling safe here on the backside is the person in the back, his job is not to protect the net. His job is to slow down the ball so that the person in the front here can come all the way back and protect the net. So when they get this boom shot, Rainbow shouldn't be looking to protect the net. He should be looking to stop the ball. Even if it's just a bounce off the wall, if it's just a little 50-50 that drops it right here, his job is to slow it down by about 1 second. That's all you have to do. If you can slow the play down by 1 second, make them take a slight detour, make them do a tap they didn't want, make them go for an aerial, make them do an extra pass, anything like that, you've done your job. Your job is just to slow down the play so that the backman can get back. Knowing that, you can feel a little bit safer to hesitate up here, knowing that he's going to buy you the time that you need in order to get back to be the goalie. So you can go ahead and chill here, wait a little bit. I'd even maybe steal this. Look for Winter here to maybe back it out and around. Um, just don't come all the way back here because if you do, then Winter has no outlet pass. The bread and butter pass on how you want to score in threes is you got one guy here, you hit it across the net for a redirect back the other way. Any kind of center redirect shot. They're very easy to make, they're very hard to defend, especially with the sharper that angle change is coming from the backside. So you want to make sure that you're staying in a position where that is an option, because this is where most of your goals are going to come. The person on the ball doesn't score that often. Typically it comes from the guy on the side or the guy coming from the back coming for an aerial, are the most likely people to score. So again, we're starting to get in that lineup. So the backman's come all the way up to be a second backman. So now we have a half backman, another backman, and a man on the ball, and nobody over here on the side. Rainbow, you're cutting a little bit too close here. You should be closer back here, and Suma, you need to be further back here. We're just rotating a little bit too quickly behind them, and then you end up bridging that gap right here, so everybody gets close. And then if anything comes out over here, back out across this way, you can be in a lot of trouble with y'all being that close. Just make sure you're spacing out, keeping your speed, and to be a lot easier for you. Alright, double commit here. Definitely you can't have this attack here, Suma. First of all, you notice that you can see both people here on the same side, which means you're coming in this way, and there's no way you can really hit that ball. The only option you have is to really bang it off the wall back to the middle, but you were the last man back. So if you do that, then that's just a breakaway for Ardent here, or Burnt, or who's the third man? I don't even see the third man. Not important. But yeah, again, you're all three right here. So make sure that Suma in this case, it should have been, you'll see. Actually, let me take it back. How did Winter get where he is? We'll back this up just a little bit. Okay, so Winter. Okay, Winter gets that hit, and then Rainbow has to come in, and now Suma should just be moving back to have Rainbow's back from the backside here. So right when Winter gets that touch, that's side Rainbow's cue to come in, and that is also Suma's cue to come back and have Rainbow's back. You can't come in here until the next man's come in. Just know the order of what you're supposed to be hitting in, and know that you never want to go directly into their corner or cross like this. Again, just because there's nobody to pass it to, and there's nobody to have your back. So we get the double commit here. Winter goes straight back. Normally this is a very bad move. I've said not to go back on the ball side rotation. However, you are correct in doing this because you get the double commit. So when you see the double commit both on one side, you're in trouble. You do need to get back on defense, and that does need to be your top priority. So good job by Winter on seeing this and moving back. You do not want to create that much space though, so don't go all the way back to get this back boost, because then they can just drop it right here in the center, and then they can get a really quick, the same situation I was talking about before, how you're coming around from the backside, and they have all the time in the world to dribble past you whatever they want. You can't give them that much space. So I would grab this. I'd actually kind of flip a UE, look around here, and again, your job isn't to protect the net. Your job is to stall the play long enough for one of these guys to get back and help. You don't want to be in a 2v1 situation. You don't want to be stuck trying to guard the net while they have possession. Your best bet is to challenge quickly, get a little bit of a stall on the play, and give your teammates enough time to loop back around and help you. Okay, so all that stuff I just said about Suma not having anywhere to go, apparently he was able to make that goal, which is impressive, but also risky. So again, if we keep the rotations, if that doesn't go exactly right, you'll be able to keep the play. You won't have to worry about the fast breaks. So even though it worked out for you this time, um, there's better ways to go about it. Yes! Perfect! Suma did exactly the right thing. Okay, so Rainbow comes in here, Suma books it back out. The goalie should be charging in here for that cheat up. So, and what you'll notice is actually, I'm going to play this just a little bit longer, and we'll see how this plays out. Okay, so Winter actually went wide and around rather than cheating up, and then you ended up getting a split. So we had one guy book it up, we had one guy book it down, and then this guy went to the backside, which is kind of works in rotation. I mean, you'll see that we're all doing the triangle thing, so at least everybody's moving in the same way, moving around. However, the problem with this is that we get back to that too much space aspect. So whereas Suma's doing the right thing, grabbing this boost and coming around to the backside, we need to have Winter cheating up here for this touch, and that probably could have been a very easy touch shot clear. If you were cheating up here, you see this bang, there's nobody around here. If you were a little bit closer here, that probably could have been an easy shot, or a tap back over this way towards Rainbow so he can get the shot afterwards. So again, just don't create too much space. Make sure that you're in a position where you can challenge quickly, because you see they're able to get that clear because, again, both of Rainbow's assists were in the two corners. Rainbow, you're running all the way wide and around when you haven't lost possession yet. So Suma's your backup, and you know that he's ready to come here. You don't need to back out here. Winter's still challenging the ball. I'd be driving this way. So this is when you're driving across, when you don't know whether or not you're going to be on offense or defense. So you see Winter making this challenge here. You drive directly across the field here and waiting to see how this read goes. If Winter wins it and it goes out this way, you can make that turn, you can grab this boost, and you can be up on offense. If Winter fails this, Suma's coming in, you make the opposite turn, you start rotating back, and you're right in a position to be able to go for it. If you start making this maneuver right here, you've already given up on Winter. So even if Winter booms it down here, you've already booked it back this way, and you don't have time to book it up and be his assist on the far side. So just know that you have your safety net here. He's got Winter's back. You don't have to worry about being on defense just yet. Give him a little bit of time, do this ambiguous route across the field, and then you'll be ready to go either on offense or defense. And you're free to do that because you have Suma here who's going to buy you that time. Again, Winter, you're running away a little quickly. You could have been up on the left side here because Suma still has the back. And if you look, they boomed it right across to here. So if you'd waited here, you probably could have gotten a goal right here, or at least a good shot. Actually, let's take a look at that again. Let me get these arrows off. Okay, so we get Winter comes here and he goes for the ball, and now he's out and across. So first of all, there's some confusion here. We should have had the next person already ready to go, which would have been, I believe it should have been Sumo was coming up here, and then Rainbow would have seen to go back at this part, unless Rainbow had booked it up, depending on how that ambiguous would have gone, that one I was talking about earlier, whether you went forward or back. Um, but if Winter had stayed wide here, so first of all, we should be closer here. One of y'all should be a little bit closer up to be able to get this hit. But if Winter had stayed wide instead of backing out here, which I do kind of get why you're backing out because there was so much space that nobody was really challenging quickly like they should. However, you do still have that safety net. So whether or not you have a challenge or not, you still know that you are safe because of Suma right here. So if you had stayed up here, if you stayed up here looking for this touch, especially right as this comes back across, I think you could have had a goal on this one. As long booms it across past Ardent, yeah. So if you had stayed up there on the front left, that could have easily been a touch. Rainbow, you never want to chase the ball from left to right go towards the ball from left to right. So you basically we have the quadrants here. So we have a left, one person gets here, one person gets here, and then one person gets the back, which is like the first third right here. So these are your three main quadrants. You never want to chase the ball from one front quadrant to the other. The only time you switch between these quadrants is when you're going away from the ball. So the reason for that is because you, like say, one person's here on the ball, you always want to be attacking from the back towards the front, which means the man on the ball needs to go across away from the ball, and the man on the backside comes back this way. You never ever have this. You never chase the ball across the field because, again, if you do this, if you're first of all, you're going directly into the wall. You don't really have much of a good angle. If you do, the one thing you can kind of do is kind of boom it back around this way. However, there's nobody there to place it for you because you just came from that side. So you're passing back to the position that you were just in, but you cut rotation and pass back to yourself, but you're no longer there because you've jumped rotation. And there's nobody there able to make that touch. So just make sure you don't chase the ball from left to right, concede that there's a man behind you who's going to have a better angle coming in this way, and you want to let him do that, and then just back out to have his back instead. Careful on, again, the ball side rotations. We're coming back on the ball side. We don't ever want to do that. You want to make sure that you get past midway and move back. That way you come around behind the backside goalpost. You never want to be coming towards the near side goalpost, especially because if they can just boom it right over top of you. So if that had gone, if Suma, if you're making this angle and they boom it across the field, then now you're having to make a turn and get an angle off a person you can't see who's redirecting it into a shot, and that's just very, very difficult. So make sure you're getting wide out. The other reason being is there's another man coming in here and you're just getting in his way. So not only are you not protecting the ball side, you're preventing your man from being able to come up and play help side for Winter. Nice, Winter's going across on the far back side, allowing Rainbow his angle to come up and protect Suma, good. As soon as Suma gets beat, Winter should be heading back, which he does, to the backside goalpost, perfect. Careful on coming out of here too quickly. So let's take a look at where your buddy is. Where's Suma? Okay, so he's already coming back here. You do need to be the goalie until he's ready to come up. So Winters, be careful about coming out too quickly, especially while he's still challenging. The one thing that you can do here is if you feel like you need to come out to keep your momentum, you see Suma coming in back, don't get stuck here. So don't slow down and just stick behind him. What happens, so Sad had to slow down here, and Winter, you coming up, what you do in this case is you do a half rotation. So you allow Sad to stay on the ball, you see that you have your momentum, you move around, and then when Suma sees this, Suma should be booking it in to fill you right here. So then Suma is able to be Sad Rainbow's back, and you, as Winter, are able to loop back around. Since you didn't go for this touch, you're able to quickly do a half loop and get right behind Suma before Sad Rainbow moves around, and you can change the order as long as you don't go for the ball. So as long as you don't attack this ball right here, you're able to do a quick up and around, allow the next man to come in, and you're right back in your rotations. So rather than stopping and filling in the position you were, recognize that this is slowed down, you can't come in to attack, and just do a quick loop. Sad, again, you're chasing it all the way across here. If you notice you already have a man here, you're on the left side. So the first thing you should be looking at here when you get this fast break is who's in front, who's left, and who's right. Okay, so we get a touch here, and Rainbow booms it out. So now we have a fast break. So first thing you should be thinking of is who are the two closest. Sad Rainbow and Winter are the two people who are further up. Now the next thing you need to ask is who goes left and who goes right. Sad Rainbow is clearly on the left, Winter is clearly on the right. Winter should book it right. Sad should concede this going over to Winter, and he needs to book it up here on offense, leaving Suma to be the backman here. So don't follow this into the corner. Again, you're not going to have that angle. Trust that your teammate's here and play his out right here so that he can get that pass back across. And that's what's going to really make it hard on the defense. When everybody's up here on the ball, they don't have to worry about the cross. They don't have to worry about spacing. They don't have to worry about all kinds of things. All they have to worry about is the direct shot from where you're at, because there's no help side anywhere else. So make sure you create that space, create extra options that they have to defend, and then there'll either be an open pass here for Rainbow to make the shot, or they'll have to cover Rainbow here, and then Winter will have an open net. Either way, it's much, much easier than having two people on the ball. And that gets us back to the other problem with that is you'll see the same issue that we had before is we're all overloaded. We're all on the same side. You have two people up on the same side and one man back. The second it booms across, offense is dead. Suma's able to get this touch right here, but very easily that could have been a tap out to Burnt, who could have, had a look. So and then also if Ardent taps it out here, then Long comes up here. Now you have a 2v1 fast break against Suma, who's having to retreat back this way, while they have both sides of the field, and you two have taken yourself out of a play. Whereas if one person was here and one person was there, then you'd be able to make that shot. The next person would be able to come in. Everybody would be able to rotate very quickly. Instead, they have this entire half of the field all to himself. So if they get this bump here to a control, then they are in a very, very good position to be able to have a fast break team play. Good adaptation here. We have Rainbow moving back and Winter's got the backside and Rainbow's moving back on the far side. Again, however, you see that you have your help side here, so Rainbow, you don't have to leave yet. You can stay up here. Suma's got the play. You can be looking to come in here, get this touch. You don't have to back out until Winter comes in. So that's your cue. As soon as Suma gives up and Winter comes in, that's your cue to back out. Again, we're getting the crossing from the left to the right to attack the ball rather than waiting for it. Sad Rainbow could have easily tapped that back across, and Winter, if you had waited on the far side, it could have gone a lot better. Again, we're just very overloaded right now. Everybody's on the ball side, nobody's on the cross. Okay, so here we get a completely different mistake. So Winter is doing the correct thing, moving across, wide, and around. However, he's assuming that they have a backup here. Suma, on the other hand, has moved in as the backup to try to take this pass, but he moved up before he had the help coming in this way. So you can't charge this far, while Rainbow still has the ball. If Rainbow's gonna pass the ball to you, what he has to do is bang it off the backboard or leave a high arcer. That's the only time that the backman really gets to come in. The backman comes in off the high aerials. So if there's not enough time here for you to be able to come in, it's not going to be a banger for a shot like this, because if that goes poorly, if Long intercepts that, then look, Winter's all the way back here, and that's a free open lane right here. So don't commit this quickly here unless it's a high lob arc or off the backboard, because that gives Winter enough time to see it and move back to have your back. But these quick shots right here are just way too risky. Good job, Rainbow, moving on the backside. Suma, you got to get out of the way. Again, you're coming back this way. Winter's trying to clear it, and you're just in his way. So not only does Winter have to worry about the blue team coming in to challenge him, he also has to worry about you coming in to challenge him. And there's nobody up here for him to be able to clear to. So if you had been booking it out this way, if you had gotten that good hit and it comes across the field, then all of a sudden you can turn on that and you got this goal right here very, very easily. Worst case scenario, it goes past you and you end up looping back and Winter comes up and then you just go back into your regular rotations. Worst case scenario, you get a bump, you get a hit, something that Winter doesn't expect. Y'all get screwed up right here, and now Sad Rainbow is stuck in net by himself with nobody on the backside, hoping they don't get a boom shot like this. So just make sure that we're spreading out, especially on defense. Somebody needs to cover the backside. That way the goalie isn't left all alone. Getting really crowded here again. Um, Suma, you've pushed up past midway, which is typically a no-no as the defender. Winter, you kind of want to be a little bit wider out. We're getting very close. I mean, we still have a triangle, but you see how it's all crammed into one corner, as opposed to being here, here, and here. Just you need a little bit more space here. Y'all are crammed up in this corner right here, so if anything goes over the top past this line, y'all are done. So just make sure that we have a little bit more space. You want to have more space and more speed. So the space will give you the time to get there, but you keep your momentum, so your speed, so you can still get there just as quickly. And as long as everybody's moving and flowing together, everything works out very well. So just spread out a bit, keep your momentum, and this shouldn't be an issue. Again, we got two people rotating back on the ball side. And again, we have the overload and nobody's over here on the left. We have two people coming up here. Again, nobody over here. Good adaptation. Rainbow saw that Winter had it, and he booked it out to the right side, knowing that Suma had the back. So that was a very good adaptation to an incorrect rotation here by Rainbow to move out and create this passing lane. However, when he does do this, you've created this passing lane, which is very good. You don't want to cross this line. So you don't want to go across midfield as the backman. If this is going to be too weak, that's your cue to get out. If it doesn't cross the net, just get out because the net Suma can come in. So anything in as a lob in this kind of area that doesn't get all the way across the net belongs to the backman. And this, I would actually be kind of wider out this way and then be ready to book it back here if it goes poorly. You can't book it this way, because again, that puts you onto the ball side, rotation back. You'll see, now you've cut off Suma. You've come across the field towards the ball, so Winter can't pass it this way. Suma can't get to it, and now we're all overloaded on the one side of the ball, on the side of the field that the ball's not heading to. So the ball's shooting to the right, and everybody else is on the left, and this is not going to go well for the offense. And yeah, they take possession and move on. Wow, we got 3 people in the corner here. Again, that's an absolute no-no. And that is why, because they can just boom it across the field like this. If Ardent had been ready, a better team could make that shot very, very easily. And there was it's an easy open opportunity because y'all were clustered over here in the same corner, rather than having a goalie, rather than having a backman and having a ball man that's rotating. Overloaded again, everybody on the same side. Said Rainbow and Winter are both rotating back on the ball side. And we have nobody coming in this way. So now everybody's literally rotating backwards. We've got a guy going this way, we've got Suma coming up across this way, Winter's coming across that way, and literally everybody is doing the exact opposite of what they should be doing. We should be having somebody come up this way, we should be having somebody run across this way, and this guy should be coming back to the backside. And literally everybody's rotating backwards. You always want to move from, you always want to attack the ball from the back. So if the ball's over on the right side, you attack from the back to the right, and that gives you the other 2 angles that you know. When you're retreating like this, there's just so many opportunities. So Rainbow's coming back, Winter's coming across. Any kind of bump this way is going to give these guys an attack in here. So again, luckily, they're cramming up too. They don't have very good positioning either. So they're clustered up. They don't have anybody who's running this lane. But if they were smart, they would have, so Inzi should be on the ball, say long in net, and Ardent kind of out this way. If they got any kind of pinch touch right here, then it would be a very easy take down the way, based off of y'all's positioning. Luckily, they don't know how to position very well, and they've crammed themselves up to where they can't capitalize on the mistakes. But this is definitely something that could cause you problems in the future if you were playing against a team that knew better position. Oh, baby. Okay. So right here, we get a triple commit. So everybody's rotating backwards. I guess everybody figures it out, and then everybody turns on the ball. All 3 of you challenging here. So this is where communication plays a big factor. You're in a weird spot. I get it. Everybody's kind of doing the wrong thing. You're trying to figure it out, but you got to talk to each other. This can never happen. You can't have a triple commit. I don't feel like I need to elaborate on that very much anymore. Alright. Winter, you're coming back on the ball side. So let's take a look at this. So right now Winter's coming back this way while Sad Rainbow's trying to clear the ball. It is nice, but you kind of went a little bit wider here. However, Sad Rainbow's having to come out this way. What he wants to do is he wants to get this clear, probably grab this boost and book it up on the field. Suma is waiting to either see for a hit or if he needs to come back here. Winter, what you need to be doing is you need to be booking it across. Suma would be coming back to have Rainbow's back, and then if Rainbow gets a good hit, you can turn on that. If he gets a bad hit, you move back in on Suma. But this right here, you're coming in from the ball side. You're not going to be able to help here. You're possibly going to mess up Rainbow, and you're preventing Suma from having any kind of help. So if this bangs over here, Suma has to come in next. Then all of a sudden, if this clear doesn't go very well, then you're going to have two people coming in a pincer move. So you see Winter comes in at this angle while Suma comes in at this angle, and you're moving directly into each other, and that's something you never want to have happen. So just make sure you're getting wide out and around rather than rotating back on the ball side. Alright, and again, let's take a look at this fast break. So here we have, oh, let's go back a little bit. Okay, so Rainbow touches it out, Winter moves up, but he cuts back at the ball. So first of all, again, you're trying to fill this spot right here and flip a UE to come back at here when Rainbow has a definite better angle. There's nobody here who's really challenging. So the first thing you should see is Rainbow has control of the ball. There's nobody that can challenge it. You don't have a good angle here. What needs to happen is one of you needs to play goal and one of you needs to get out here. So your first thought should be, is Suma up or am I up? Suma is rotating back this way towards the goal. So in this situation, you've already come up this way. I would just book it out. So I would say, Winter, you continue this path out this way to be Rainbow's assist. So he comes out, you be out, and then Suma can come in here to be the goalie. Instead, we get Winter coming back in here to challenge the ball. We get two people going down this side of the field while Suma comes back. And again, that leaves this whole half of the field wide open. Rainbow can't pass for a shot coming back this way. And if it does get across the field on the 50-50 or anything, we have nobody there to play defense to prevent the fast break. Rainbow, get across. So you've missed here. Winter's coming in the next one. You gotta get across this way. You can't be coming back this way. This is going to interfere with Suma coming in. It's also going to prevent Winter from getting any kind of cross pass. The easiest, best way to score is to bang it across the net to the next person who gets to the quick, easy redirect before the goalie can see it. You're taking away the easiest shots y'all could possibly get by cramming up in the same side every time. You're making it easy on the defense because the sharpest angle they can get right here is right in a spot that they can see the entire time. Whereas if you look at Arden Long, if they're on ball cam and the ball comes all the way across the goal and then redirects, that's a real quick change of direction that they can't necessarily see. They can't see the guy coming in here on ball cam until it's too late. It's a very difficult shot to save, whereas you're giving up that easy shot to make a very easy, to give them a much easier save. So just make sure that you're booking out and across, giving everyone the room, and this needs to stop. We can't have three people in the same quadrant ever. Winter, you're coming back on the ball side again, right here, rather than booking it out wide and around, and we're getting this line where you're very overloaded this entire game. Go wide, Winter. You should be on the left for this touch. That was a pretty good play. It was you were pretty centered, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because there was a fast break that you were looking for that direct shot right then. Normally you would want to come at a bit more of an angle like this, but because of a fast break, that wasn't bad. And again, you see how quick and easy that was, just because everybody, and that wasn't even proper positioning. That was just close to the right positioning. So if you notice that just when you got close to doing it the right way, how easy and open that goal looked, if you can just spread out a little bit more, you'll start to see that goal wide open a lot quicker. You'll have a lot more goals, and I think you could very easily start dominating with just a few adjustments to the team, positioning wise. Again, we got two people in the corner, nobody's across. And then so Winter's having to come all the way across to hit it into the same side. Suma's rotating back on the ball side, as is Sad Rainbow. So now we're again in those backwards rotations, and this keeps happening because you all keep getting caught in an overloaded position rather than spreading out and going wide. So if somebody had been wide over here rather than being 1, 2, 3, if this second man gets over here, then this becomes a very easy option. But when you don't have that, you end up having this man having to come in, and then you have two people on the wrong side, and then so you just have to back out, and that's all you can do. Um, and what that does is it leaves this next man coming in here all by himself in a 1v3, while the two men have to play defense, backing out. And at that point, it's very difficult, obviously, to do a 1v3. He's probably going to lose. And then when you do have two people backing out, now you don't have anybody able to come help him. So that gives them all the space to be able to use their 3v2 advantage. Even though y'all are moving back on defense, you're moving away from the ball, having to play shadow defense, and they have a numbers advantage with space and possession, which makes it very difficult on defense. So really just make sure that you're spreading out, and a lot of these issues will just kind of take care of themselves just by the fact that you're staying in the right position. Assuming you cut it back across there, you need to leave that for winter. Okay, so that's the end of the game. Overall, you did a good job. You shut out, very good defense. Just the biggest thing I can say is you have a lot of overload. We're getting into this line very often. Make sure that we're getting across. Make sure that you're always coming up from the ball side, but you never attack the ball from the far side. You only move away from the ball up on the offense. And once you kind of get used to this circle pattern, as a team and communicating from the backman when he's coming in, I think you'll start to see much better teamwork and improvement, and start getting a lot more goals on the offensive side and keeping possession for a lot longer. That's it for game number one. These videos take a little bit of time, so I'm probably going to take a short break here before I get into games 2 and 3, but I will definitely go over those with you and get them out to you as soon as possible. If you guys have any questions about what I went over, anything that you maybe disagree with, you want further explanation at, feel free to hit me up. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. And yeah, I guess that's it.